Hello, Asham here, and welcome back to some more Umineko When Seagulls Cry. And given the choice between editing the part that comes out in 2 days and recording more, I'm choosing to record more. Yeah, I definitely need to do the editing tomorrow, and then all the processing on YouTube's end is done. But speaking of YouTube, it happened a while ago, but yeah, I got to 100 subscribers. Everyone that's watching. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get this far. It has been several years now. In any case, I will continue.
みんな腹の中じゃ信じてるわけじゃない。でも、表向きはその存在を認めてる。ほら、神様の存在を認めるような、そんな雰囲気だよ。実際にはいないことを知ってても、それを口に出して否定したら野暮みたいな空気だな。
使用人たちの間ではどういうことになってんだ。やっぱり雇い主のじい様がいるって言ってんだから、それに口調を合わせてるわけか。
At the very least, not Canon and Genji. Genji, but no, it is Genji, yeah. Shannon, maybe not. She does seem like, unlike with Shannon, who's all about furniture, and Genji, Shannon was at least somewhat individualistic.
さあ、詳しくはわからないけど、使用人たちの間では、ベアトリーチェの話はある種の怪談扱いになってるよ。ほら、昨日海岸でシャノンが話してくれたろ。夜見回りをしているとき、不気味な何かを見かけたとか、そういう話。
She did say something like that, didn't she? Back then. Thought she was just being really nice to help improve Maria's mood. But it felt like she was serious when she said it. That's right, she definitely said it. She definitely said the same kind of thing that Genji and the rest had all unanimously declared back in the kitchen.
他にも鬼火や輝く蝶々が舞っているのを見たという使用人も、カノン君もそれらしいものを以前夜の見回りの時に見たことがあると言ってました。
Canon-kun, and I'm pretty sure Canon-kun very much believes in Beatrice. Gonna make a point about that. Right. Could be that he's more, like his wavelength is more in tune, or maybe he believes more, and so he can... That's why he was able to see it when others weren't. Or maybe it is just coincidence that he was in the right place at the right time. I had another thought, but I've forgotten it, so I'll continue.
あと、最近ではお屋敷の中で深夜に不思議な足音をよく聞くと使用人の間で話題です。
Okay, so putting aside the theory of witch for a moment, if this is an outsider potentially, who's doing the killings, what if those strange footsteps were that person scouting out the place, getting the lay of the land, and so is hiding in the mansion right now? Might be a possibility.
私たちは肖像画の中のベアトリーチェ様が姿を消してお屋敷の中を散歩しているんだろうと囁き合ってるんですよ。
Now, if something about the painting itself changed, then perhaps.
ずいぶん前ですが、私もそうかもしれない足音を夜の見回りの時に聞いたことがあります。
They never find the source of the footsteps. They wouldn't necessarily find the person that caused it. That's right. She definitely said that. Exactly the same thing that I'd been told just now.
でも、怯えることはないんですよ。
But what's the condition to not be afraid?
ベアトリーチェ様は 親方様とは異なるもう一人のお屋敷の主です。だから変に怯えたりしないで敬意を持っていれば決して悪いことはしないのだそうです。
If you respect her. On the other hand, you're dead. So, there.
ただし敬意を持たないと恐ろしいんだったね。
はい。私が勤めを始める直前に階段を転がり落ちて腰に大怪我をして辞めた方は。
Also thought, you know how, what's his name? Kinzo selects servants from the orphanage, right? What if he specifically chooses people who are more in line, more attuned to the occult?
ベアトリーチェ様のことを悪く言っていたそうです。だから使用人たちはベアトリーチェ様のお怒りに触れたのだろうと噂し合ったそうです。
Perhaps this is a misattribution, though, like how in Hinamizawa, in Higurashi, you had something Shiro. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama, some curse, but isn't actually caused by Shiro-sama.
敬わないとお怒りに触れて怪我をする。つまり使用人たちにとってベアトリーチェって存在は、お稲荷さんにいたずらしたらお狐様のたたりがあるってくらいには信憑性があるわけだ。
So I believe the green means that they will be in the translation stuff here. Oh yeah, you can read that if you want to. I will be continuing. Of course, even though everyone accepts that curses and the like don't exist in the modern era, people are still afraid and still have little respect for them. You often see it when, in a residential area, someone is building a house and they call the Shinto priest for a ceremony to honor the god in that plot of land. You might think that was just a big waste of time and money. It is said that if the workers don't do that, a big accident will occur, so they never neglect to do it. You also hear about how, if an Inari shrine is carelessly removed during a town planning, there would be a curse by Kitsune-sama. I think I might have read somewhere that when the occupying forces were trying to expand in an airport, they tried to remove an Inari's son that was in the way. Workers kept getting struck down by mysterious fevers. Even in modern cities like Tokyo, it wasn't rare to see modern buildings packed all around an ordinary shrine, leaving the shrine itself untouched. This wasn't limited to Japan. It's probably similar to how foreigners baptize babies. If I remember right, by Christian doctrine, unbaptized souls of even the slightest amount of sin, they will still go to hell. Putting water on a child's forehead doesn't do anything but make them cry. But if by doing just that, parents can prevent their children from going to hell, they will happily go through with that ceremony. In short, even in this modern society of reason, we're still unable to throw away every trace of belief in fear. You could even say that we accept certain sorts of supernatural things, though in a passive way. Maybe the only difference on this island is that Beatrice is the object of that worship.
じゃあつまりこの島でとても人間技とは思えない何かが起これば、それはベアトリーチェの仕業だとなるわけか。シャノンちゃんも言ってた気がするな。ちゃんと閉めたはずの窓や扉や鍵がもう一度見回りに来たら開いていたとか、消したはずの明かりがついていたり、つけたはずの明かりが消えていたりとか。んで、確かジェシカは朝出かけようとしたらカバンが見つからないのもベアトリーチェの仕業だってふざけてたんだよな。
よく覚えてるな。 普通なら妖精さんが隠したとでも言うところが、この島ではベアトリーチェがになるってだけの話だぜ。ま、そんなくったらない話さ。
このお屋敷も築30年くらいになるそうだからね。それだけになれば多少の怪談やオカルトは生まれてくるものだよ。
I mean, I don't know. 30 years old isn't. Eh. I mean, it isn't especially old for a mansion.
学校の七不思議なんかのようにね。
そこで
Oh?
チェス盤をひっくり返すぜ。つまりこの島では人間にはできないことはベアトリーチェの仕業と置き換えることができるルールがあるってわけだ。人間にはできないこと。人間は何人だ？ 18 人だ。つまり犯人はこの島のルールにのっとってつまりそれは19人目の仕業ですよと訴えたくて仕方がないわけだ。
I don't think you can say conclusively that there's 18 people there. Doesn't necessarily mean that they want you to think that a 19th person did it.
気に入らねえぜ。
19th person could easily be wanting to make use of Beatrice's reputation.
全然気に入らねえ。
気に入らないって何がだよ。
仮に不可視の19人目が存在してそいつが自分の存在をアピールしたいなら俺ならもっと完璧なタイミングでやるぜ。
完璧なタイミングでってのはどういう意味だい？
ああ、だって事件は深夜から未明にかけて起こったろ。深夜まで話し合いをしてたり夜勤をしてたりあるいは部屋に帰って寝ていたり、どいつもこいつもアリバイがあやふやで十分内部犯行が疑える段階だ。ジョージの兄貴もエヴァおばさんに聞かされてるんだろ。内部犯行の可能性が高いって話。
Well, I'm pretty sure it's been said that Beatrice is like more powerful at night. Like, along the lines of being the one in charge of the forest, which is mostly island, also at night.
うん。まあね。
つまり不可視の19人目が実在したなら最初の事件は自分のアピールに失敗してるんだ。
Well, not like it matters. They're gonna kill a whole lot more people still.
あ、いや、そもそも時間帯がミステイクだ。
Yeah, so a lot of it will depend on how they remain separated from the mainland. If the storm passes over and the boat that's supposed to come doesn't come, then that's pure coincidence. There's not really much they can do to organize that. If probably. So yeah, all their plans could be ruined by the boat just coming anyway. If, however, the storm mysteriously keeps going, which I think it probably will, especially since Thunder has been kind of equated with Beatrice's existence, at least twice now. I think the storm's going to stick around, which no killer could predict. No person could predict, because it would be behaving in a very unnatural way. You'd have to worry about floods and erosion at that point. Yeah, in that case, definitely something supernatural going on.
不可視の19人目をアピールするためには、死んだ6人以外の12人が全員白であることが確定している状況下で行われなければならない。疑わしい人間がゼロにならなきゃ自分の存在をアピールできないんだよ。だから全員のアリバイが一番あやふやになる深夜の時間帯は19人目にとって自分が一番あやふやになる時間帯でもある。
Perhaps it's that vagueness that allows Beatrice to act. So twilight, the time between when there's light outside but the sun is below the horizon, is also known as the witching hour. There's vagueness to it, and is often in mythology when the supernatural is at its most powerful. Also, not connected enough, so I'll leave it at that.
にもかかわらずその時間を選んで犯行に及んだ。
そんな時間に犯行を起こせば18人の誰かが疑われるのは明白。にもかかわらずマリアに手紙を渡して魔女を名乗り、誰もが自分でないと否定している。
つまりベアトリーチェという19人目がいるように見せかけたい人間が18人の中にいると、こう言いたいのかよ。
Or I quite like my theory where it's the 19th person trying to bring themselves into existence.
なんだかぶっ飛んだ発想だな。
Very fitting for an occult idea.
まだおふくろの屋敷の外に不審者が潜んでいるって話の方が信憑性があるってもんだぜ。まさかバトラはこの客間の中に犯人がいると疑っているのかよ。
ああ、何者かが俺たちにベアトリーチェが存在すると認めさせようとしている。そうさ、昨べのあの手紙からもう事件は始まっていたんだ。
And that's where you're wrong. I'm pointing at the screen right now, but again, objection. It started years ago when The Witch's Epitaph was put out.
証拠も根拠も何もねえけど
Evidence? Who needs no evidence? Oh no, it's like evidence. I don't need no evidence. Dear.
チェス盤を逆さにした限りじゃ俺の見立てはこんなところだ。
飛びまくってるにも程があるぜ。妙な推理小説の読みすぎじゃねえのかよ。
でも無視できない着眼点もあるね。19人目がいるかいないかは別にしても、その犯人は確実にこの島のルールにのっとって何かを仕掛けてきている。僕はね、今バトラ君の話を聞いていて少しだけ気持ち悪いことを思い出してたんだよ。
Please tell.
気持ち悪いことって？
Witch's Epitaph, Witch's Epitaph, Witch's Epitaph.
覚えてるかい？ベアトリーチェの手紙。
Ah.
ベアトリーチェは利子の回収を行うと言っていたね。そして利子とは後ろ宮家のすべてだと言った。
Everything of the Yoshiromiya family. None shall be left alive. Jessica and I thought back on what Maria had read aloud the previous
言
night.
ってたぜ。確かに言ってた。そして利子の回収をこれから行うが、黄金の謎を解いたらその権利を失うとも言ってたよな。
おじい様は黄金を授かり、後ろ宮家を再興した。
So you're talking about the riddle of the gold. Think about what the rest of the riddle of the gold talks about.
つまり黄金を資本に生み出したもの全てが利子だってベアトリーチェは言っている。つまり
冗談きついぜ兄貴。まさか後ろ宮家の全て、つまりじい様が生み出したもの全てってことは、じい様から血を分けた一族のことを指すってのかよ。
あの手紙をそう読み解いたなら、この殺人はベアトリーチェが行った正当な利子の回収ということになる。
I'll keep that in mind for next time the bank calls.
となればこの事件はまだ続くよ。利子の回収はまだ途中なんだからね。
George turned around, looking over the parlour. There were still many people who held the name Ushiromiya. And because Gorda-san and Shannon-chan had been killed, we knew that not even the servants were safe, despite lacking the Ushiromiya name.
私たち全員を殺すつもりかよ。
Remember the epitaph. But yeah, so that does leave a question in my mind, if that's the case. Yeah, everyone in the family is either Kinzo, one of Kinzo's children, one of Kinzo's grandchildren, or married into the Kinzo family. Then you've got the servants who are all employed the Hishiromiya family. Then you've got the doctor. He doesn't quite isn't that same being part of the or being created by the Ushiromiya family.
でもおかしいよジョージ兄さん。ならどうして6人だけ？
The Epitaph.
他に大勢殺せたはず。下手をすれば寝込みを襲って全員を一晩で殺すことも可能だったはず。どうしてそれをしなかったの？
特別条項だよ。黄金の謎を暴く者が現れたら利子の権利は失われる。そして手紙の最後にはこう結ばれていたはずだよ。おじい様の黄金の謎をみんなで解いてみろとね。
ジーザス、ようやく犯人のメッセージが分かってきたじゃねえか。つまり犯人は俺たちにじい様のあの碑文の謎を解いてみやがると言ってるわけだ。
Yes, the Epitaph.
しかもぼやぼやしてればどんどん利子の回収を進めちまうつもりだ。
They're finally going to notice 6 sacrifices. I realize this is all based on several guesses that are way out there. Not everything that happens in this world fits together in a perfect line. Most of the events you don't understand are only individual points. By fitting them into a straight line, you're beginning to understand. The points at either end of a line are really close. The line itself is more logical and easier to understand. When those points are really far away, the opposite is true. It's the distance between these points that makes us say our guesses are way out there. However, if the distances we span are too narrow, that means our thinking will be narrow too. Is there a difference between making guesses and reasoning? Am I just using easily made guesses to try and force this crime into a pattern I can understand? No, that's not it. When you're lost in the dark and searching around with your hands, what you're doing is relying on your imagination and making guesses. Only imagination can find the points that need to be tied together. Reasoning is nothing more than the act of drawing lines between them. You can't imagine, you can't reason. What I'm doing now might be way out there, but I'm sure it isn't a mistake either. If you've ever played the game Scotland Yard, it's a board game. Basically there's one thief that's trying to escape the police, and all the other players are the police trying to track down the thief. But you know what type of movements. You know if the player's taking a taxi, a bus, metro, or technically you don't know if they're a boat because they've got a couple of cards that they can use, which is any type of transport. And every 5 moves or so, I think, they reveal where their current position is before moving on again. So you don't know where they are, and it's not exactly imagination that you find out where their possibilities are. You know where their previous location is, and then from that you go, okay, they've made these moves, and so these are the current positions they could be in. Give like 3 positions that they could be in. And then they make the next move, and you go, okay, well, each of those 3 moves, you look at all the possibilities you can get from there. It isn't imagination, but reasoning in the darkness of limiting your possibilities. What you're doing when you're lost in the dark and searching around with your hands, it isn't only relying on your imagination. You have no idea when you start, but when you reach a wall, you now know that there's a wall there, and so you can limit where your position is from that. Similarly, robots, like school or uni project of an automated robot thing, which I had to do, which is really annoying. You start off basically just trying to figure out where you are, and so make use of what limited information you have to figure out what angle you're facing, where you are, and then from that try to get to where you want to go. But starting off, you exist and you have no idea where you are. Only the power of imagination can pull clues out from the darkness. And I can use the power of reasoning to tie those clues together. It was a lot like the process of searching out an enemy's weak spot and striking. It's okay if I'm way out there. Find a weak point first. Then we can think about how to strike. Rather than fixating yourself into one, you want to create a suite of possibilities of where you could be. A superposition, if you will. Right now is the time to find points you can tie together later. You're in the exploratory phase. Gathering information, discovering the rules involved. Make conclusions later. For the time being, I put aside whether a 19th person existed. Go forwards with all the possibilities, so then you don't lose out on the possibility. In an announced alpha theory, the goal of the culprit might have been to make us solve the riddle of the Epitaph. Uncle Hideyoshi seemed to be extremely interested, but Aunt Natsuhi said it was ridiculous and dismissed it. It's definitely tied to the Epitaph. No one is talking about the middle part of the Epitaph. Even though she was puffing up her cheeks in that cute way she'd been doing since yesterday, I couldn't think of it as cute. If I poked fun at her, it might suddenly transform into a creepy laugh. You know there is.
その存在を盲信する犯人はお父さんそれを私たちに解かせて横領を企んでいるという動機はなるほどとうなずけるものがあります。しかしならばなぜ 後宮家の主要な人物ばかりを最初に殺したのです。
道理ですな。謎を解かせるなら金蔵さんに近しい人物を先に殺すことは得策ではないはずです。
Because they don't want you to solve the riddle. That's the thing.
そうね。
She wants to collect on her interest. She doesn't want you to escape from interest payments. It's like the banks in the medieval era, where the church went, yeah, collecting interest is a sin, and so banks went, oh, okay, fine. There's no interest on this loan. However, there are late fees, and if you pay back your loan on time, we won't loan to you ever again. Yeah, so in any case, I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments, and until next time, see ya.